Hey YouTube, thank you for taking another brief moment out of your day to hang out with me, Lucky Haskins. Today I'm going to teach y'all how to think fast. This episode is called Thinking Fast with your friend Lucky Haskins. Thinking fast, folks. You know, when I moved down south a while back, it takes a little getting used to down there, and sometimes you got to learn to think fast like Lucky does. I got pulled over soon as I moved down south by this old boy wearing a big old brim and some mirrored sunglasses. He come walking up to my vehicle and he says, "Boy, y'all got any idea?" I says, "About what?" Oh, Lucky can think fast. Thinking fast with Lucky Haskins. So when I was down south, I used to like to go on these long walks, you know, roll a couple, stick them in my cigarette pack, take a long walk in the woods. There's never nobody out there. And one day I come across this small pond that I didn't even know existed. And I hear a noise, and lo and behold, there's 4 ladies in this pond skinny dipping. And I just come out of this up out of nowhere. All of them saw me and had a disgusting look on their face, and they all got down under the water and hid. And just gave me one of the dirtiest looks I ever seen in my life, folks. I felt bad, and old Lucky had to think fast. So I says, "Don't mind me, ladies. I'm just here to feed these alligators." Thinking fast with Lucky Haskins. So I never got a drunk driving, y'all. You know, I don't do dangerous things like that. I don't like to put other people in danger or nothing like that. But I made it through a whole lifetime having a good old time. Never got me. I don't have no tickets, no accidents, no drunk drivings, none of that stuff. Now, I almost got a drunk driving one time. There's one time I should have, but Lucky had to think fast. I had a buddy riding with me. We was at the bar. We had probably too many. We might have had 6, 7 beers, which if y'all knew me back then, I can drive better back then with 6, 7 beers in me than a lot of people can with no beers in them. But what do I know? That's just how we do things up in Michigan. Some of you might not know that the phrase "hold my beer and watch this" was invented in Michigan in the wintertime. But that's a whole nother story, folks. The time I almost got a drunk driving, but Lucky had to think fast. I got pulled over, the lights come on, me and my buddy, we're both drunk. I'm going, "Oh no, man, I'm going to get a DUI. I've heard about those. That'll wreck your life, man. I can't get a DUI. I'm going to have to think fast." So while this cop, I'm still thinking, I'm brainstorming. This cop's now walking up to my window, which I'm rolling down. I turned to my buddy. Lucky can think fast. I turned to my buddy and I said, "You can't hear and I can't speak." By now the cop's coming up. My buddy gives me this wild look like, "What the hell did you just say?" And I just played it. And the cop comes up to the window and he says, "Well, what are y'all doing?" And I says, Cop looks at me kind of funny, and he's starting to realize, well, this sucks. This guy can't speak. How am I going to trick him? So he immediately leans forward a little bit, looks over at my buddy, and he says, "How about you? Where are y'all heading tonight?" My buddy stares at him for a minute and goes, and I says to the officer, Cop gave me my license back, said, "Y'all have a good night now." Thinking fast with Lucky Haskins. I like to think fast, folks. You know, I was up at the bar one time. I was about to make fun of all these tourists that was hanging out. There's about 6, 7 of them. There's some big fellas. And I thought to myself, because I knew I had to think fast. These boys were a little out of line. Oh, Lucky had to think fast. So I thought to myself, well, I ought to jump in this. But I thought kind of fast. And I said, you know, if I'm going to make fun of these boys, least I ought to do is walk a mile in their shoes first, right? Because I know I'm going to piss them off, and I want to be a mile away, and I'll have their shoes. Lucky was thinking fast that day. That's the ultimate example of thinking fast. We got to hand it to these science believers, folks. The ultimate example of thinking fast, gravity. Hey, we have a hypothesis that the Earth could be a ball. Everybody else in the room, well, that's impossible. People would have to be upside down. Water would have to stick to the ball. Yeah, well, I have a theory called gravity. Great, so you have a theory. Yeah, my theory would make everything stick to the ball. Great, well, do you have any proof of this ball? Yeah, my theory. It proves the ball. Wait a minute. Did we just get played? That's the ultimate example of thinking fast right there, folks. Let's make a theory that proves our hypothesis. And that is a moment of truth with your thinking fast friend, Lucky Haskins. Stay true, y'all. Yeah.